and welcome to Unscripted. I am your host, Bobbie Jo, and this is the show where it flows, nobody knows. It's unscripted, just like life. Today, I wanted to reflect a little bit upon if you saw this week's meditation moment with nature. And let's see if I can remember what I wrote. The moon has phases. The earth has seasons. You are a part of nature. Honor your rhythm. Do you honor your own rhythm? What your body and your soul need, the season you're in, the phase you're in. I believe so often we can put pressures on ourselves or try to live up to certain expectations or keep up with certain things and cannot listen to that voice while trying to meet these outside standards or compare ourselves to somebody else's phase or season or believe we should have moved past something already when we're still there. So an example, if you noticed, I wasn't live last week. And for me, that was my need to honor that season, that phase I was in last week. So it was a period of time where I needed pause, I needed rest. And that's what my soul was calling to me for. So when I felt within to not going live, I felt that deep peace and that healing that I needed in that moment. Could I have gone live? Yes, I could have pushed through and gone live, but for me, it didn't make sense. If I am holding space and being an example of what I teach on living a soul-led life versus a society-led life, and living a life where you're honoring your own intuition and your values and your needs in times that you can, like I even shared with my list, yes, there are times we do have to push through certain things, right? We can't say, oh, I'm too tired to feed the kids or to, take the dog out or things like that. There are certain things we need to show up for. And there are certain things sometimes that we put pressure on and believe we need to, when truly we have the freedom to make another choice, to pause and allow ourselves the rest. So for me, my intuition was saying that it just needed a break. It needed a pause. It needed a rest. And it was okay to do as long as I gave myself permission and listened to my intuition and did that. So permission for you to pause if you need, to rest if you need, to do what you need. There are so many different experiences that we have in life, and it's just honoring, again, where we are based on what's going on. I can tell you, for me, personally, a lot of the grief cycle is still there, and it's very challenging and difficult, and it reminds me of this, is honoring that phase, that season. It's not something that's continuous for me every minute, every hour of every day, but all of a sudden it will hit me like a wave, and I will just start to cry, and I will feel deeply that pain and that sadness. And for me, it's a matter of allowing that to heal it, to give myself that space of, okay, this is where I'm at right now in this moment. So it's like this moment by moment thing. And that's where it's so important to stay in tune with yourself, with your body, with your feelings, allowing yourself to process what you need. Because just like nature, we're all in different seasons. We're constantly shifting our seasons and our phases. If you're in a moon cycle, and like we just had, it's a lunar eclipse. If you think about that with nature, this too shall pass. So that moon is still light, and it just has this shadow for this little while, and then it passes through. So there's all these different phases, all these different experiences that we're having. So it's so important to allow ourselves what we need in each moment and to not compare to somebody else. Because if you watch nature right now in spring, you notice everything blooms and it's own divine timing. Some flowers bloom early, some later, and it just makes it all beautiful. So this week I just offer you to allow yourself to feel what you feel, to take the time you need, to rest if you need, to listen to that inner soul calling, to your heart, to what you're feeling called you need, to just honor that season, to honor that phase, to honor wherever you are. And another thing with that is when we honor it, because what we resist persists. So if we're resisting feeling something we need to feel, if we're resisting doing something we need to do, if we're resisting the rest that we need, it will show up more and stronger because we haven't allowed ourselves what we needed in that moment. For instance, I love my mentor, Sunny Dawn Johnston, uses this example. And I think she's used it with, you know, how you think you have to think positive. So then you're like swallowing those negative thoughts and like, no, I can't think about that. I have to focus on this. Well, when you resist, it'll persist. So just like any of the examples I gave, she says to imagine a beach ball. And so if this is what you're resisting, if this is your grief, if this is you comparing yourself, if this is your body's need for rest, if this is, you know, a thought that just crosses your mind and you're thinking, oh, I got to think something else, and you're resisting things and pushing them down. It's like taking this beach ball and trying to push it and shove it underwater. And if you've ever done this, you know you're using all of your might and all of your effort to force this ball against all this resistance in this water. And that takes all of your energy and just drains your energy because you're focusing all of your energy on pushing away what you don't want, so that it just drains you. And if you think about it, when you can't push it down anymore, what happens? It just pops up out of the water and comes at you. So that's where I find it's just so important to just honor your soul, honor what you need. So if you were like me last week and there's something that you can just say, you know what, I'm taking a pause, I need some rest, full permission to do so. If you're feeling waves of different emotions or feelings, do whatever you need to honor yourself in those moments. If you need to cry, if you need to reach out for support, anything you need, honoring yourself. If you're comparing yourself on anything, honor where you are and enjoy where you are. Everybody's taken every different step to get to where they're at, and just enjoy the journey right where you are in this moment. So my gift to you this week is just to breathe in and feel the nature of your being and see the beauty of the nature of yourself exactly in the phase and exactly in the season you are in right now. How can you honor your rhythm? As always, if you want to keep this conversation flowing and going, come join me backstage in my free Backstage Pass community. You can grab your free pass at loveBobbieJo.com. Thank you so much for joining me. Wishing you a beautiful and blessed day.